Hello, beautiful people. I have a very weak signal here at the moment because the winds are just ferocious. It is first day of autumn here. I'm so excited. Autumn's one of my favorite seasons. I'm an autumn baby. Even though my birthday's in May, I'm getting closer to winter at that stage, but I'm pretty damn excited for the change of season that has just taken place. You can feel it everywhere around me at the moment in time, and I get really, really creative and really extra at this time of the year. I just love this. I just love this season, and I love the cooler months. I just feel better within myself in the cooler months. So, my focus at the moment, as many of you know, because I'm going through a bit of a health upheaval with the hole in my heart and things like that, I'm shifting focus on healing. Now, the idea came to me because I've been talking to my family and my Covens family, my spiritist Afro Brazilian voodoo family over in Brazil. And they're talking about cleansing, they're talking about healing rituals. And then I'm talking to one of my very best friends here, which is Gordon White of Rune Soup. And he's going through his shamanistic journey at the moment at this moment in time. We've been talking about, like all the things that have been going on. And again, that subject of healing keeps coming up. And then I'm having my meditations, and I feel like my internal structure and my spirits, my ancestors, specifically my ancestors, are really pushing me towards a healing journey at this moment in time. Hi, Anasa. How you going? Fox Fur Witch, how you doing? So what I am putting together right now is I've just spent the whole day working on this actually. I'm going to run a course. I'm going to run a course through my coven for healing. And the reason why I want to do this is because it's a proven method of ours over there anyway. When we get together in a big group and we execute on timing, and that's international timing. We execute on timing, our spellcraft is amplified by all of the energy getting poured in by all of the witches located in all different corners of the globe. Like I have a multicultural coven, and so all coven witches located in some are in Japan, some are in Europe, some are in America, some are here in Australia, and in other places like Canada that I haven't even thought of. Like there's some incredible destinations and geographical locations there. Hi, Taminga. How you going? Taminga, she's located somewhere in Queensland on an island. There you go. So, I haven't even let my coven know about this. Taminga, you can actually let the coven know in chat or something like that. So, what I'm putting together is a healing course. This is a big thing, right? And it's going to run across weeks. And hopefully, if I can execute this properly. Hi, little sister. How you going? You are so all right. Well, at this moment, we are going to run this experience as across as many lengths of time as I need. I like to disperse my content over on Patreon at least weekly, although sometimes I sit on a task. For example, it took me 5 weeks to write up all of my petition magic course, or not course, but book. And then I release that whole book free to my coven. So that's how I like to do it over there. So they get a good amount of content over there. But this is something that I'd like to look at doing weekly or bi-weekly at the very least, even though the content that I'm putting together is quite robust. So today I have been sitting down to write. Let's have a look at this. Conservatively speaking, 3,045 words. I've got a comprehensive table of contents, and we are working on why healing, the anatomy of healing magic, the diagnostic phase, what is shadow work, exercises to meet your shadow, a simple shadow meditation, write your shadow a letter, new moon intention ritual, ritual bath, oracle guidance, and there's a couple of other bits and pieces in there that we are going to be going through. So I'm going to be filming. Good God, why can't I even today? Damn it. There we go. Lost myself. So I'm going to be putting a few little extra pieces and bits and bobs together later today, and then tomorrow I'm going to film the introductory component, explaining everything. Because when these types of activities are presented to the coven, there is a lot of activity. There's a lot of interaction between witches because there's a necessary amount of sharing, and I find that it's really exciting and it's extra special to be able to decompress. So when you're doing a shadow meditation, this is something that you do individually, obviously, and it's more like a path working that you do. And I've written this whole thing up for it, and I'm tying in concepts in association to things like the traditional witchcraft fetch beast, which is not a part of the meditation, but there's aspects that mirror the concept of a fetch beast. So I throw those little extra tidbits in there of information so that people can just, I don't know, learn something. Oh, by the way, here's a little something. I like to information overload people. As I've said this before, I'm a second deacon in Mercury, so I'm information crazy. And I'm also ADHD. So when I get started, I hyper focus. I literally started at 8:30 in the morning, and I just looked up and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been going at this all day. As you can see, I'm like, I'm full ADHD. I only stopped because my alarm went off. My partner asked me to set a reminder for him for his doctor's appointment, and then I realized my alarm's going off, and I'm like, "Why? What's this alarm?" And then I couldn't get a hold of him, so then I had to jump in the car, and I was gonna go down and find him because he's having beers with his dad, and then he calls me, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I didn't even have to move. So when I got back here, I thought I'll do a live stream and I'll have a little talk about this because I, by now, probably need to step away, and I'm just very, very excited for this. I find that the subject of healing at the moment is coming up over and over again. And with all the conversations that I've been having with all of my favorite people, I find that the subject of healing is echoed in that. And I'm a big, big believer that as a witch, as a magical practitioner, as a mystic, as a spirit worker, you can only do so much before you need to do healing work. I happen to I feel and I see healing magic in a very unique way. I look at blockbuster magic as healing magic. I look at cord cutting and road openers as healing magic. I look at, you know, the concept of, grounding, centering, clearing, balancing the energetic meridians within the body. Call them chakras, call them meridians, call them whatever you want. I look to that as healing. I see path working and journaling as healing. I see so many different things as healing. I think a ritual healing bath or a ritual bath of any kind is healing, whether you're doing a salt bath, a herb bath, a white rose bath, any traditional bath. And I'm a big, big lover of baths. I like to do ablutions and I like to do them at very specific times of the year in accordance with days, astrology, and lunar cycles, because that's just the way that I roll. As a folk witch, I try to pull in as many layers to my magic as possible. And I'm very green witch with how I like to run my things. So we're pulling in a little bit of petition magic for one of the components for shadow work in this beautiful course that I'm running at the moment. And I just feel electric about it. I feel like I'm having some kind of, or I'm bringing into existence an epiphany. And when it comes to healing, because of the way that everything in the world is at the moment, I feel like it is such a necessary thing. And healing doesn't have to be boring. Healing doesn't have to be dull. Healing doesn't have to be rigorous, but it is raw and it is authentic and it is honest and it's truthful and it is without illusion. And that's the most exposing and vulnerable thing about the process of healing, is that when we are doing this type of work, this type of witch work at least, what we're doing is we're putting ourselves out there in our own space, in our own sacred space. Nobody's judging you here, but in that your own sacred space, and you're really, really looking, and you are introducing yourself to your shadow, and you are meditating upon it. You are communicating with that shadow. You are healing and integrating. And then you are going through the process of doing these incredible new moon cleansing rituals, these petition writing rituals, candle blessing rituals, all of these types of beautiful things. And that is the part that I think is necessary. So we're opening up the pathways here. So we start off on our healing journey with that oh so necessary experience and process of shadow, understanding the shadow, because we're healing mind, body, spirit here. And I like to make everything as holistic as I possibly can. It's really, really hard to engage in healing magic when you don't tap into everything. When we need to heal a condition in our life, if you are finding that your road is blocked in some way, if you are finding that you are, butting up against some sort of imposter syndrome or self doubt, something or other, and you really are needing that healing, if you're finding that there are maladies in your life in one way or another, energetic disruptions, energetic tangles, energetic knots, magical confusion. The word that we use in my culture is karga, which means the load, and it's specifically a magical concept. When you're holding karga, you are holding a load of unwanted. You are loaded up with unwanted energy, and then you go through the magical processes. But as above, so below, and very hermetic principles. But what happens within, and I find that healing is very receptive. I tend to associate two elements to healing, and that is fire, as in like the healing fires of Kenaz, the rune, or water, which is, the womb work, and it's the transformative component. I assign two planets to healing, and one is Pluto because of its transformative aspects. And then there is Mars, which is, that gung ho, fiery leadership, Tuesday energy, because of that cardinal fire element. And so I like to come at healing from water and from fire. And even though I'll be pulling in most of the elements throughout this process, because little green witchcraft thrown in there. When I say a little, what I mean is an excessive amount. I love to work with my herbs. I like to work with my nature. I like to work with as many tools as I possibly can that are quite natural. And I like to put it all in a pot, brew it up, and make something of it. So we are going in through a really big phase here. But I am finding that we can't get stuck into, beautiful love magic and prosperity magic and justice work and things like that until we have healed that situation. And healing magic is all about creating the foundation for which to step off of or step up from. So, when we are feeling in that beautiful state of healing, when we are healed in that sense that our internal landscape is feeling calm and aligned, when we are grounded and centered, and when we are feeling good about ourselves, then we open up the pathway for better magic to be made. So, when I like to do coven spells, I pull coven members from all over the world. We align on a time and a day, and we create the magic together. And then we each individually, at a very specific time or within a window of time, we like to focus our energy. We have the names of all the people that want to participate. So it's not a compulsory exercise. I like to make sure that everyone is very comfortable with it. But I like to make sure that those that are participating have registered their interest. And when I say registered that interest, put their hand up. We do a lot of live streams before this happens. We do a lot of polls. A lot of stuff is communicated. A comprehensive list is then presented. Every witch that is participating in the running of this spell and ritual will write down the names for the petitions for each individual witch, and that will be the presence that is in there in their own sacred space. Now, repeat that 20 times, and the same names, the same intentions, different witches writing it up 20 times. That's already awesome. Now, amplify that by 30, amplify that by 40, amplify that by 50, and then amplify that by over 100. Over 100 witches focused on the same damn magical intention at the same time, under the same alignment, with the same ingredients to a degree. There's a lot of room to move here, but I like to create alignment only on the crucial elements of a spell. And the magic is so, so robust, so intense. It's beautiful. And then if it's really big witch work, we repeat it and then we repeat it and then we repeat it if it needs to be repeated. And the beautiful thing about the repetition process is that once you've done it once, you have everything that you need to do it again and then again and then again. So we did this in a prosperity spell. I think it was last year, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Oh my gosh. Ah, sorry guys. My chat had frozen. I'm telling you, I've got really strange weather here. Maybe it's my own energy. Who knows? I'm gonna go back. Okay, sounds like fun. This sounds really good. Hi, Avalon. I don't read digital books. Would love to buy a physical book if you ever do that. Oh, thank you. Earth Alva. I'm hoping to do more more physical books. I just haven't quite got there. Digital is easier for me at this moment in time until I get my stuff together. Wow, meet your shadow, pathworking too. Yes, dandelions. I like to be comprehensive. You can't heal unless you know what you are healing. And a lot of healing and during the healing process, not a lot of healing, but during the healing process, I feel like it is important to understand the nature of shadow because sometimes the root cause of certain ailments in your life, energetically speaking, of course, is a shadow that can't be reconciled, is a shadow that's causing pain, is a shadow that is a byproduct to a traumatic experience. Shadow, 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 linger, 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 not. Those types of things are important to address. And always, always, I like to remind people that when they are engaging in shadow work, that shadow work is an energetic component, psychological in nature, spiritual in nature, yes. When we butt up, when we rub up against trauma, some trauma can be sat with and some trauma cannot. So always like to make sure that my beautiful coven members know that if they need to seek psychological experienced workers, psychologists and support workers and counselors, that it is important for them to pursue that path, because as far as I'm concerned, pursuing those avenues is just a part of the healing journey, and I think it's vital. I think it's absolutely vital. And so, doctors and psychologists and psychiatrists and counselors are extensions of a more specialized branch of the healing journey. And I think it's really important for us to begin to accept that on a grander scale and stop prescribing only spiritual solutions to some pretty heavy trauma and some pretty heavy, wounds out there. Some wounds can be sat with, like I said, and that's why shadow work is beautiful, because there's a certain amount of healing that can be done on your own. But when we get to that point where we have, we've gone through the process and we're still feeling raw and we're still feeling sore, and there is still a sense of dis-ease, of misalignment, of stress, of anxiety, of worry, then it's time to take it that one step further. And I'm a big believer of that. When I got to that phase after Oh, after a couple of pretty hectic occurrences in my life, I spoke to a psychiatrist, a psychologist, I should say, not a psychiatrist, but I spoke to a psychologist and I sat and I had sessions, and I've spoken to counselors, I've spoken to doctors, I've spoken to all sorts of health professionals, and I feel no shame whatsoever in admitting that, because I go and see a doctor when I'm sick. When my body is sick, I go and see a mental health professional. When my mind is not feeling great, I speak to nutritionists. When my body is not feeling amazing, I am all for seeking help when I need it. And I think it's really important to understand that. So I don't want to ever say that you can just shadow work all your shit away, because you absolutely cannot. And some trauma is there, and some trauma may always be there. I'm not so naive or misinformed to know or to understand that you can come to terms with certain amounts of trauma, but you're never going to get rid of it. You can make peace with it, but you're never going to get rid of it. And that's a mark. That's a scar that you'll hold forever. And I happen to dig scars. So Anyways, I get off topic a little bit here. But with our component of shadow work, I have certain exercises. I've made them as passive and friendly as possible. We can keep going with this. You can kick it quite a bit. And, you can get really intense with it. But I have decided to just stick to three little activities. And I want to time them with specific phases of the moon. And as we're moving about, I have all the components in written format. And I think checking in all the time. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Um, Customizable healing. Yeah. Yep. Inspired to start a healing journey now. Oh, beautiful dandelions. How do I join this? It will be only available at within my coven structure. So I have a coven on Patreon, which I'm dying to move to my website. I've said this before because I really don't like the Patreon platform or structure. But who knows? I might actually list this in member section on my website as well as an option for those who don't want to sign up to the pain of Patreon. Patreon as a user isn't actually that painful. It's from a content creator point of view that it becomes very clunky. Um, uh, I was just in hospital for mastitis. Oh, Serenitary, you poor thing. And immediately after I got home, the trauma was there, ready to be dealt with. Oh, you beautiful soul. Any beginner healing journal advice, bath, oracles? Got trauma? You nailed it. That's exactly right. I am going to make sure I have a whole comprehensive list of oracle decks because I specifically want to work with oracle rather than tarot. I find tarot and shadow work absolutely amazing, but it is best for intermediate practitioners. You've got to know your cards, you've got to get uncomfortable with them. And I find that tarot and shadow work is very niche. Whereas Oracle is a much broader concept, and people that don't necessarily know the tarot or like to work with tarot can still get something out of Oracle cards. So I have gone for Oracle and really good Oracle cards that have affected me personally. I happen to think that there are some beautiful, beautiful decks out there, Oracle decks specifically, that are just chef's kiss good and geared towards healing and personal transformation and personal evolution and spiritual development and things like that. And that's where the magic is. So I have, like, I think, let me just open up my document here. I have Oracle Guidance. Okay. Yep. 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 No, gone well beyond that. I have 12. I have 12 Oracle deck suggestions, which by no means is law. I'm simply providing Oracle suggestions within the format of this course so that people can be inspired and sort of get an idea of exactly what kind of Oracle decks I'm referring to when I say geared towards that beautiful healing energy. And there's many out there. There is many out there. I have aversions to specific subjects. So of course my list will reflect my needs, my flavors, my taste, which is why I've only presented it there as a jumping off point. But I've got some beautiful, beautiful Oracle decks on that list, things to think about, and then you guys can come up with your own. My little witches in the coven can come up with their own ideas, and they will no doubt have a little collection or a big collection of Oracle cards to choose from. And because the Oracle component is entirely optional, not everyone likes to work with cards, and I make sure that nobody feels forced to do anything that they just don't like to do or don't want to do. I leave the Oracle component as, as something that is non-compulsory to the course. It's not. It is a beautiful, beautiful process, and it's a commitment because it's 50 days of working with cards. 50 straight days. And that includes journaling. So it's a commitment. So if you're not into that big, 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 big commitment, then perhaps best not the Oracle portion of it. And I am going to be adding I'm going to be adding extra components to it. So I've done all the dark moon uh, sort of ritual healing magic. Obviously, shadow work will happen, last quarter waning and dark. And then I'm in the new moon phase. So I'll be doing this little new moon section for the next couple of weeks. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just have another hyper focus day tomorrow and do it then. But we will see how it goes. But I'm really, really, very, very excited for this. And, when you just sort of, when you feel very, very inspired to pursue a path and things just start to open up to you. I find that when you are on the right path, when you are following your inspiration, following your guidance, following your ancestral nudges, my ancestors are Latino, and as such, they're very, very pushy. And so they're sharp. My mother called my sister the other day trying to get a hold of me. And she's like, tell your sister, me, that she has a lot of karga and she needs to get rid of all this karga and that people are projecting karga onto her. And I'm like, here we go, here we go. And so we've been like talking about this concept of spiritual karga. And as such, it just became that thing that it just opened up that subject of healing journeys from my mother to my friend to just everyone I've really come to terms with today, engaged with in some small way. My cards often answer my questions with more questions. Very, very happy Mondays. Yeah, I get you. I find tarot cards just tell me what I want to hear. A lovely Parisian Italian witch told me about a lovely plant called fire moss, a lovely plant to work with magically for post-traumatic growth. I've not personally heard of fire moss. Maybe it's known by a different name, but yeah, I've got a really great recipe for healing bath for coven, for the healing magic component. So while you're sitting here, I'm going to unbox some stuff because the other day I had a traumatic experience at the hospital, and when I experience trauma, I like to counterbalance that with a little bit of self pampering. So I got some new makeup brushes for all of those that are interested in makeup. I got the whole more makeup from my boyfriend, who obviously doesn't understand that there is no such thing as too much makeup. So I have 3 makeup brushes from Hourglass. They were on special, which is why I splurged. And then a new signature, well, hopefully new signature lip color. It is Pillow Talk Matte Revolution, and it is a Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. It's a mixture between 2 of my favorite lipsticks. I love makeup. It makes me feel better. It's a mixture between 2 of my favorite, which was the Velvet Teddy and the Matte Myrrh by MAC. So that beautiful little thing. And then I put together my own palette because I've turned a corner with my eyeshadow, my love of eyeshadows. And basically I haven't bought any new makeup in about 18 months. So I was feeling like I had enough and that I wasn't using it. And then all of a sudden my daughter started to fall in love with makeup, and I gave her some of my makeup, and then I lost some of my makeup. So, and then I put together, this is my little Hourglass palette. It is empty. And then the shades will go in there, and I put together my own little palette. So I've got little palettes to put together. Anyways, I just thought that I would share that with you because that's what I was literally doing. Still not happy about the call. Yes, I know. If you guys are here and you see the name Adriana Cameron in the members, she's my baby sister. She's the one that got the call from my mother to harass me about the kahaga, and the fact that my heart shouldn't have surgery until I repair the kahaga. And oh my God. Anyone who thinks that being a hereditary witch is a beautiful thing, I assure you, you get phone calls from your mother saying some crazy effing things. Tell you what. Affirmations to my tarot oracle practice. Surround out my children are now getting into oracle cards and affirmations. Oh, my babies love, 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 love a little oracle affirmation. They're really into it. My son, especially, he's very, very into tarot, actually. He really likes a tarot reading. So I pull a couple of little cards for him. So cute. But I like to do meaningful meditations with them, and we do meditations quite a bit, and we do a bit of sound healing. And I have a little bit of crystal singing bowl, or sacred intention music going on, just sort of in the afternoon, evening, because I find when they get home from school, they get very, very agitated, and they're all like, I'm famished, I'm starving, hungry, even though you pack them a nice lunch. Next minute, they're just eating you out of house and home, and it's only a couple of hours until evening meal. And so what happens is, boom, I put that little bit of meditation. I tell them to sit down, do a little coloring, or a little Lego, or something that doesn't involve a screen, and that does involve just a meaningful moment. Oh, excuse me. Anyways, I better start winding up because it's almost time for me to pick up my little treasures. But saw your sister and she is pretty and sweet. Oh, thanks, Kathy. Pillow Talk, classic comedy film, in my humble opinion. Maybe. Penny Atkins, hi. So yes, my beautiful souls, it is a healing journey experience. I want to be as colorful and as playful with this as possible as well. It is all about healing work. It is all about witch work. It is all about magic. Yes, but there's so much magic to be had in non occult practices. Like, I'm a bit esoteric in occult. I like to go pretty heavy duty, but lately I have been finding that there's a particularly special magic, I should say, in play. Hence why makeup is a beautiful thing. And one of my very, very best friends has gone through major, major cancer therapies, a double mastectomy, and lost all the hair. And I remember talking to her through this entire process, this entire journey, and she was telling me about how important it was for her to feel beautiful. So while she was going through this during the height of COVID and we couldn't travel, I was sending her little packages from Lush and from Mecca, and skincare and makeup, and just beautiful things, and books as well. Like, I was trying to just give her these little packages while she was going through a really difficult time. And, we talk about it now, and it's so important to feel good about yourself. And feeling good can come down to the way you wear your hair, to the clothing that you wear. Feeling good can also come internally from that sense of vitality. Have we been eating well? Have we been looking after our body? Feeling good can come from the fact that we've walked out of a house that's organized, that's cleansed, that's clear, that feels good. And that has a really positive impact on your mind. Healing, this healing course that I'm going to be doing through Coven on Patreon is going to be so comprehensive, because as I'm talking to you right now, I can just see all the chapters unfolding in my mind. When are you planning on starting this healing journey? Missed that bit of info. Well, it depends on when I can actually get to the filming of the introduction process. So tomorrow, I hope I'll be able to film the intro, and then I'll be uploading it maybe on Friday, the first component, and I'll have a date set then. But I was looking at my moon calendar today. Hang on a minute. Okay, and so we're in March, so it's the 1st of March today. So the 22nd of March is the new moon, yeah. Cancel, cancel. Okay. We have a full moon on the 7th, so it will definitely be after the 7th of March. Yeah, that will work actually, because that will be full moon on the 7th. We can do some releasing work. Yeah, I might throw in a little release work and just like the tying off of the loose ends, maybe in time for full moon. I'll definitely have for the Patreon a tarot oracle pick a card there. And then, yeah, so we should be able to move through through the month, this section through the entire month of March. So, what I have written today pertains to the month of March. And then we'll be doing a little bit more. I'm feeling like I'd like to focus on the home. I'm toggling between the body and the home, the body and the home. I don't know. I might have to actually flip a coin for late March and then early April. So it will be body and home. And that's embedding talismans and creating little matrices for threshold points within the home. It will be like ward work and all sorts of things, and then actual physical cleaning, because I know that nobody likes it, but cleaning is a really big component to cleansing your home. And my house is in a state of disorganization. My ADHD brain has created floordrobes. So, my partner and I have been talking about doing a full purge, and that's going room to room and taking everything out and only bringing back in that which we utterly love. So, I might actually do a vlog about that and see how that goes, because I live in a tiny home, so it's very easy to be overwhelmed by clutter, and clutter is no good for the headspace. Hey, Chad, starting the live from the beginning. Woohoo! Can't wait to learn. I'm a beginner. Aw, thanks, Kathy. Yes, well, I've tried to make sure that I've tailor-made a lot of the ritual witch work, the healing magic work. It's suitable for beginners. I have a tendency of over explaining just in case. And for the intermediate to advanced witches, that's when I throw such things in as like, here's a little podcast about fetch beasts, animism, and healing. And, like I've got little references and things like that. Just a little tidbit there. And I will be adding some sort of more advanced practices, and I'll section that out. I'll like, okay, if you're a beginner, this is what I'd like for you to do, or this is what you can do. If you're more advanced, then you can take it here. And I like to expand it. But shadow work in the beginning, beginner or not, it's a process, same as everybody else. There's no masters of shadow work as far as I'm concerned. And when it comes to a healing bath and petition work, again, there's no masters. There's no, it is what it is. I mean, experienced witches know that when you are writing a petition, that you need to layer it, right? So you need to layer the magic. I've already had this conversation with my coven, and I've written a bloody book about it, right? Haven't I? So those who are feeling more confident and more experienced can actually double, triple, quadruple layer their petition magic and do the same with their candle magic. So witches who know, take it and then add to it. And that's the beautiful thing. So yay, Taminga, yay. Power decluttering indeed, my friend. Indeed. Very happy Mondays. It is a form of power decluttering. So I will be back to making more videos here on YouTube very, very soon because it's autumn and it's nice to be outside. I'm not scared of snakes. And obviously, the cooler weather means that I feel better within myself. So, my body's been really overheated and I've been getting very, very sleepy because my heart's laboring right now. But as soon as it gets nice and cool, I feel amazing. So today I've had one of the most delightful days of the entire year, and I'm feeling pretty bloody good about it. So on the first of autumn, I was early up, had all my kids' stuff, breakfast and lunches made today, dropped them off early to school, came back, had my third cup of coffee, and then just power worked the crap out of today. And I'm feeling so good. Today, I've got to say, there are times where I do things for my coven that feel like work, no shade. And there are times where I do things for my coven and it feels truly beneficial and truly rewarding to me. And today was such a day. I've had healing music going in the background. I've been doing lots of like sound healing, and I've been eating really well today. I had my lemon juice cleanse this morning, and I'm feeling good. So all of that really good juju or that really good energy went into my writing today, and I'm super, super excited for it. So that's where we are, my beautiful people. That is where we are. There we go. Shit. I'm trying to do a link here. All right. I'm going to leave a link here to my Patreon. So if you want to participate, then by all means head on over there, and Patreon is something that you can pick up and then drop as well. So I'm looking more into creating course style content, and I want to create an enrichment of content as well. And I really am considering, Taminga, if you're still there, let me know if you love this idea. Hold on, this could be a hospital. Hello. Hey, baby girl, what's up? Your dad said he was going to pick you up. Yeah, he said so. Do you want to give him a call? Yeah, I spoke to him about it today. I said you were going to be there at exactly the school drop-off time. So he said that he can pick you up and I'll pick you up from his house. How's about that? Okay, I hope you had a really good camp. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Call your daddy, okay? All right, love you. See you soon. Bye. My daughter went to her camp and she was a bit confused as to how she was getting home today. I totally forgot what I was saying. Oh, yes, Taminga. If you're still here, let me know what you think about me. Like, no, you probably cannot answer this question for me. Oh, I really, really want to move my creative platform to my website. Oh, and while I've got you, do I want to disclose this yet? Okay, so I have some preliminary sketches for the second edition of The Bone Stone. That's right, second edition. There is sketching. There'll be inking happening soon. There's some cards that are going to be changed, and then I'm going to rewrite sections in the book. So obviously not. This is a part of my healing journey as well, the second edition, and I'm pretty excited for it. So, I'm just pretty damn excited for it. So there you go, beautiful souls. I might wrap it up because I've really got to go and get my little kiddly winks today. But thanks so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for allowing me to just express my excitement and to talk about the work that I'm doing, because I feel like it was really, really beautiful work. And I've been on the research bandwagon today. I've been pulling information from everywhere, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And so I hope that you guys enjoy it. And I hope that I can come on here again and talk a little bit more about how it's going. I would actually like to make one of my Coven live streams a live event on YouTube, but I'll because of privacy, I try not to do that. Many people are wanting to be private about their work, and I don't want to compromise anyone's privacy or safety or anything like that because not everyone can be very open about their spiritual practices, and witchcraft is still somewhat taboo in various parts of the world. So, respect must be paid, and sensitivity must be had, invested, felt. You know what I mean. Anyway, so there we have it. I'm going to get going. Have a beautiful day as well. Take care of yourself and look out for my newsletter. I might actually share a sketch with you from the Bone Stone second edition. It's very exciting. Very, very exciting. All right, beautiful people. Look after yourselves. I'll chat to you soon.